Sophia lay on her bed, her fingers dancing across the screen of her phone as she typed a message. It had become a nightly ritual, her long chats with Daniel. What had started as a casual conversation on a social media platform had quickly grown into something much deeper. Daniel was different. He made her laugh, listened to her rants, and always had the right words to say when she felt down. She had never met him in person, but she felt like she knew him. He wasn't like the guys in her circle, those who only saw her as the billionaire's daughter, the girl with an empire at her feet. He treated her like a normal person, and she loved that about him. "You should come over sometime. I want you to meet my family," David said, smiling. Sophia stared at the message for a while, her heart pounding. Was this the right time? She had always been hesitant about meeting online friends in person, but Daniel felt different. She trusted him. "Are you sure? What if they don't like me?" Sophia replied. His response came almost immediately. "They will. I've already told them about you. They're excited to meet you," Daniel said and chuckled. She bit her lower lip, debating. She had never told Daniel about her background. He had assumed she was an average girl, and she had let him believe it. The last thing she wanted was for him to treat her differently because of her father's wealth. "All right, I'll come this weekend," Sophia said at last. Daniel sent a voice note almost immediately. His deep, soothing voice filled her ears. "I can't wait, babe. My family's going to love you." If only he knew. The weekend arrived faster than she had expected. Sophia took extra care in choosing her outfit, something simple yet elegant. She didn't want to come off as pretentious. Dressed in a modest floral dress, she tied her hair in a neat ponytail and wore minimal makeup. Her driver dropped her a few blocks away from Daniel's house. She had insisted on coming alone. Her heart pounded as she approached the house. It was a modest home, nothing compared to the grandeur she was used to, but she found it warm and welcoming. When Daniel opened the door and pulled her into a hug, all her nerves melted away. "You're even more beautiful in person," he whispered. She smiled, but as soon as she stepped inside, the atmosphere shifted. Daniel's mother and sisters were seated in the living room, their expressions cold and unreadable. His mother barely looked at her before mumbling a half-hearted greeting. His sisters exchanged glances and snickered under their breath. Sophia's stomach twisted. She had expected a bit of awkwardness, but this was outright hostility. "Come, let's sit," Daniel said, leading her to a couch. She tried to ignore the tension, but it was impossible. His mother kept eyeing her with disapproval. Her lips pursed as if she had already made up her mind about Sophia. The sisters whispered among themselves, occasionally throwing glances in her direction. "So, Sophia," his mother finally spoke, her voice laced with sarcasm. "What do you do?" "I just finished school," she answered politely. "I'm still figuring things out." His mother let out a dry chuckle. "Figuring things out, huh? Girls these days just want a man to take care of them." Sophia's cheeks burned, but she forced a smile. She didn't want to make a scene. She reminded herself that she was here for Daniel. "Come with me," his mother suddenly said, rising to her feet. "I need help with something." Sophia hesitated but nodded. Daniel gave her a reassuring smile, and she followed his mother to the kitchen. A tray of vegetable was handed over to Sophia immediately. Sophia wanted to talk. She wanted to ask if that was their way of welcoming their visitors. In her home, visitors were served and not meant to enter the kitchen on the day of their arrival. During the dinner, many things were talked about over the dinner table. They told Sophia how some girls were running after their son. They told her how she would be accepted into the family only if she became humble. At last, Daniel's mother told her about a girl from a rich home that they wanted Daniel to marry, but he had refused. So they expected her to be grateful that Daniel had chosen her. That night, as Sophia and Daniel laid on the bed, they talked about many things. Daniel told her how he was going to take care of her and how he loved her. She wanted to complain about the stress his mother made her go through, but Daniel didn't give her the chance. The next morning, Sophia was still on the bed when she heard a loud knock on the door. It was Daniel's mother knocking. "Follow me," the woman said even before replying her greetings. Sophia followed her to the backyard where a large pile of laundry sat in a bucket. His mother pointed at it. "Wash these." Sophia stared, confused. "Excuse me?" His mother crossed her arms. "If you want to be part of this family, you should know how to take care of a home. Wash them. You have to be active, not sleeping like a pregnant woman. Is this how you sleep in your home? Wash them fast and come to the kitchen. Let's make breakfast." Sophia swallowed hard. This was a test. She knew it. But she refused to back down. If proving herself meant washing clothes, then so be it. She rolled up her sleeves and got to work. By the time she was done, her hands were sore. She wiped her forehead and turned to Daniel's mother. "Is there anything else?" The woman smirked. "Good. Now go to the kitchen and cook." Sophia took a deep breath. "What would you like me to make?" "Make pounded yam and a gussie soup." Sophia's stomach sank. She had never made it before. I don't know how." His mother threw her head back and laughed. "Oh dear, you're useless. A matured girl like you can't even make a simple meal? You're not a wife material. I don't know where my son found a useless girl like you." Sophia clenched her fists. She had never been insulted like this before, but she bit her tongue and kept her composure. The next morning, it got worse. His father handed her more clothes to wash, and she obeyed. Then one of his younger sisters, barely a teenager, tossed a pile of clothes at her feet. "Wash these too," the girl demanded. Sophia snapped. "If you tell me that again, I will slap you." The room fell silent. His mother stormed in. "What did you just say?" "I said I will not wash them." "Is she mad? Don't she know her mate?" The older woman's eyes blazed with anger. "You're a disrespectful girl. My son will never marry you." She raised her hand to slap Sophia, but before she could, Sophia caught her wrist midair. "Don't you dare," Sophia said calmly, her eyes burning with fury. "I am not your slave. I am not begging your son to marry me." At that moment, Daniel walked in. "Sophia, say sorry and just do it," he said. Sophia turned to him, stunned. "Are you serious? I can't imagine that I have been chatting with a man like you." Daniel sighed. "You need to humble yourself. I was only trying to help you out of poverty. You should be happy that you found me. Tell my mum sorry and wash the clothes. It is simple." Sophia's heart shattered. A bitter smile formed on her lips. So this was what he thought of her? That she was some charity case? She thanked her God that she had not revealed her identity. She stepped back. "There will be no marriage between us." His mother smirked triumphantly. "Good. Now leave my house." "Useless girl." She went over to her son. "You are a man, my son, my great son." Sophia quietly went inside the room. She laughed inwardly. While arranging her clothes, Daniel told her that she still had chance to say sorry and wash the clothes. He said many things, but Sophia didn't reply. She picked up her bag, held her head high, and walked out. Months later, Daniel was sitting with his family when a letter arrived. It was an invitation card. He opened it, his eyes scanning the words. His heart stopped. The name on the card, Sophia Williams, daughter of billionaire oil tycoon Alexander Williams. His breath hitched. His hands trembled. His mother snatched the card and gasped. "My God!" Daniel felt sick. He had let her go. He had listened to his mother, let his pride win. And now, he had lost the best thing that had ever happened to him. He turned to his mother and barked. "Have you seen what you caused?" His mother shook her head. A real man stands for his woman. Regret crushed Daniel. And he knew he would carry it for the rest of his life.